So, listeners and viewers of the Church Answers podcast, the producer of this podcast is Alana. She's been with us uh, I'm trying to remember if it's been a year, 2 years. Anyway, she'll tell me once we stop here. And we're doing a series of these 10-minute podcasts, and she's telling me I have high energy. I don't know what she's saying. I've been working since 3:30, and it's now almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been working since 3:30 in the morning, and I'm doing 9 podcasts in a row. And she says it's high energy. You know why? I think she can see it. I don't think it has anything to do with my physical stamina. I think it has to do with my excitement about the topic. I think it has to do with my enthusiasm about what could happen and what should happen if we take some of these things to heart. I'll explain more in a little while. I mean, Alana just gave me that segue, and I just thought I'd mention it as kind of why I'm excited about this possibility, why it does energize me even when my body says, slow down, you don't have any energy left. So we'll be talking about the group called the CHRINOs. Keep in mind that that is an acronym, which means Christian in name only, CHR, Christian, INO, in name only. We make it plural by putting S on the end, CHRINOs, people who have said that they are Christians, but they're not. Now, I said I wasn't going to review all of the previous episodes. And by the way, we have a total of 6 episodes on the CHRINOs. You're in the 5th episode. So if you want to go back and listen or view those, you can go back to episodes going all the way to 163, 164, 165, 166, 167, 168. And that's all 6 of them. And we have all of them now released as of today. So you're going to get all of this information on the CHRINOs. Okay, a couple of things I want to say in terms of housekeeping. We have a new directory out, the Everything Church Resources Directory. Absolutely love it. Our team has worked hard to try to assemble a single resource that has all the church resource organizations, companies, and the resources themselves into one directory. It's hundreds upon hundreds. You want to what's the best group literature, or where's a Christian school or seminary, or where's an evangelism training program, or where can I find out about church builders, and where can I find out about church stewardship companies? I mean, it just goes on and on. Not just hundreds of companies, but hundreds of categories as well. It's massive. Now, here's the offer for you. It's free. It's totally free. We get asked again and again, what is the best resource for? Or what is a resource for? Well, we've tried to put it together in this massive directory. Of course, it's online. It's a PDF if you want to print it out, or it is a page turnable online as well, where you can just turn the pages online beyond the PDF. But we urge you to get this. It's totally free. You may put it as a bookmark in the future. You may want to print it out, but we'll be updating that every 6 months, and we'll be adding to it, and we'll be getting more current information. So that's the Everything Church Resource Directory. As the lady said in the introduction here, Cheney and Associates, they are our sponsor, but it's more than a sponsor. It is a belief that they are a ministry partner that is making an incredible difference with over 1,100 churches, providing them accounting, bookkeeping, payroll. They are the accounting firm for the church. Check out our friends at Cheney and Associates. You will appreciate it. Okay, a lot of preparatory information. Let's answer this question. We've been talking about the CHRINOs. Once again, go back to previous episodes. This is the 5th of those. We have the total of 6 about Christians in name only. What is it that you need to know about getting the gospel to the CHRINOs before they join the church? If you listened or watched the previous episode, we said, how can the church reach the CHRINOs? And we talked about how can we reach them once they come into our church, because we know that there are a lot of people who come to churches and claim the name of Christ or claim the name Christian, but they are Christian in name only. Now, let's talk about getting the gospel to the CHRINOs before they come to church. And I really just have 2 major points to talk to you about, because this is kind of the easy answer, but it's the right answer. Getting the gospel to the CHRINOs is just getting the gospel out. Once you start becoming a church that is outwardly focused, once you start becoming a church that is evangelistically focused, you will start reaching the CHRINOs, Christian in name only. Of course, you'll be reaching people who don't claim the name of Christ, who are not Christians either. But the point is this: there's no some type of precise methodology to reach CHRINOs in the world. Some will say, well, they're claiming that they're Christians. Don't have to unconvince them that they're not. Not really. Most CHRINOs, once they hear and understand the gospel, they will know. They're not dumb. They will know that they are not Christians. So it is the overarching statement to you is, if your church is evangelistic, if you have this outwardly focused culture, you are going to reach the CHRINOs. So the first point I want to make is this: churches that have an evangelistic culture reach the CHRINOs. Once again, churches that have an evangelistic culture reach the CHRINOs. What is an evangelistic culture? It is a church that understands that its mission on earth is to share the good news of Jesus Christ. It's a church who understands that Christ's last words on earth before he ascended to heaven, Acts 1:8, where you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. That was his last will and testament, if you will. And if those are his last words, they're obviously important words before he returns to reclaim us. It is understanding that if we are not evangelistic in our culture, then we have to become a church that turns our priorities around. That is just the essence of it. One of the things that we offer at Church Answers that has been immensely helpful to churches is called the Hope Initiative. It's a 30-day reignition, renewal of your evangelistic purpose. We've seen churches that just had incredible turnarounds just by taking a handful of people through this 30-day challenge. And it's an easy thing to do for almost anyone. So that's one way to move your church to a more evangelistic culture. So number one is simply to move your church to a more evangelistic culture. Number two, again, this is basic. Make certain that you as a Christian are comfortable with gospel conversations. Make certain that you as a Christian are comfortable with gospel conversations. I've seen people do this in so many different ways. Just give one example from today. I had brunch with a coworker by the name of Brad Wagner. Some of you may know that and know him. He's not of that. You may know him, but if you don't, we've been friends for many years, and we went to a restaurant that specializes in brunch, breakfast, that type of a restaurant, Ruby Sunshine in downtown Franklin, for those who just want me to give it a plug. Downtown Franklin, Tennessee, that is. And Brad and I were talking, and he said, "Oh goodness, I haven't asked the server anything." Well, he had two or three of these very small, basically stories of Christ from Scripture, very simple, little tiny books. And the server came by and he asked her, and he said, "Now, your name is what?" And she repeated it to him. And he said, "This is the question that he's been asking for his gospel conversation. Do you read the Bible?" He said, "That's opened so many doors." I'd never done that, but I watched it open a door this morning before I recorded this afternoon. He had a conversation with her. He gave her what I call a mini MINI Bible. And it was just very comfortable. It was very natural, even though I think it was more supernatural. So there are just two things to reach the CHRINOs. It's basic. Reaching the CHRINOs means your church needs to have an evangelistic culture, and it means that you individually need to be comfortable with gospel conversations. Again, if you want some prompts to help on this, check out the Hope Initiative. You can see it in our show notes. You can go to churchanswers.com. It'll be right there on the homepage. But that is one of the passions of Church Answers. That is one of the passions of my heart. And if Alana thinks that I have high energy today, it isn't because my body is working well. It is because I really believe in what I'm talking about, and I'm enthusiastic about it. We got one more episode on the CHRINOs. We're going to talk about the future of the CHRINOs, two different views coming up later. We'll see you in the next and final episode on the CHRINOs, and it's already ready and it's waiting for you. See you there.